Mhm. Okay, what did you do? Technical difficulties. He's over there jamming, and we're not hearing anything.
I know. It's okay.
All right, Kelly, give it up. We'll get that right after a while.
What? It didn't have no sound?
Had no sound.
Nope.
What?
It's like I could barely hear something in the background. It was fine a while ago when we was looking at it and testing it.
Okay.
Well, welcome everybody to our very first episode of Wednesday's main event. I appreciate those that have come in so far, and we welcome you guys to our very first show. As you can see, we have Kelly. Let's see if I can do this correctly. To the left of me, and of course, in the bottom right-hand corner, let's introduce Miss Turtle Lady, Miss Angelina.
Hi.
So, so yeah, as you can see, we were having some technical difficulties there trying to get our very first show rolling, and that's not uncommon for a first time show. We're not newbies, but yet this is new.
Newbie. Rookie.
So looks like Avid coming to the house first, and then I see Miss Uptown Chrissy Brown. She says, "Turtle Lady."
Hi, Chrissy. Hi, Avid.
Got JBT in the house, fishing with JBT.
About hot.
JBT.
It's 72 degrees with a nice breeze.
Nice. We've had thunderstorms.
You can keep that weather where you're at, JBT.
Yeah, it's like 112 where he is.
You can keep that. It's 72 degrees, cloudy with a nice breeze all day. Perfect.
Yeah. Well, we had literally storms ever since about 8 o'clock or so last night. Well, you knew that because we was on the phone at that time.
Yep.
So
now we had some rain early this morning, but other than that, it's been perfect. My child and her two cousins hit the pool because it was just nice.
There you go. So. Got Fishing with Whiskers says hi to y'all. He's listening and driving.
Hi.
JBT said it's 112 there right now. You can keep that.
Keep it.
It's bad enough I roasted 9
the rest of the week.
That's because of rain we need, but I could do without it because my front drive is a pond right now.
Yeah.
So all right, so it looks like we got a few more people in the house and they're kind of starting to come on in. Kelly, why don't you go ahead and introduce Miss Angelina and all her glory.
All my craziness.
All your craziness. That's true. That's crazy.
This is Angelina, otherwise known as the Turtle Lady.
So
most of y'all know who her other half. I wouldn't say better half, but the other half is.
You got to think now. You're talking.
He always is in the chats. He's known for wrecking vehicles with Troy with Real and Virtual Outdoors with doing their trucking nights and stuff like that. But Susquehanna Stand. So everybody knows who he is. This is the better half of that one.
There you go. That's much better.
Thank you.
Better half of that one.
Creole stated, "What's got 2 thumbs and is mixed up in his days? This guy."
This guy. Yeah, Roger was saying last night that he was he normally gets on before his show, gets everything ready, and then pops us on to watch. That's and he's right. Like, where are you guys?
Exactly. So Miss Becca says that she says, "Hi there from my place in Arkansas this week. Yay. Working with this signal issue stuff. So just listening tonight." Well, we appreciate you listening, Miss Becca.
Hi, Becca.
Miss Becca is awesome.
Yeah. So Yeah, I've got questions after I've kind of binged some of your videos and I showed my wife and she's like, nope, my first question, unless Kelly's got something better to ask, my first question is, what?
Why?
Yeah,
Why would you? Why?
What,
Why would you? Why would you noodle for turtles?
What in the heck got you started in wanting and willing to put your hands in the water, no less, and drag these turtles out of their little hiding holes, knowing full well that you might come back with a nub if you don't do it correctly?
Right. With fishing, I was always around them, like, catching them by accident. So, and I just love how they're feisty, they're mean, they're challenging. Like, I love a challenge. And then when I'm fishing, well, they're just most people don't want to deal with them.
Right.
So, guys will just cut the hook, or, if I'm with Stan, he's a one part of it. So I just started grabbing them and interacting with them. And then before I know it, I was going out and catching bait fish and putting a bait fish on a stringer and then getting them that way. And then I would scoop them up. And then I would put pictures of my turtles into this group. And this guy got a hold of me. He said, did you ever think about, like, would you want to go noodling? And I'm like, no way. Is this real? Like, noodling them? I'm like, I didn't even know anyone really did it besides Turtle Man,
Right.
And I went, met up with him. And the first time I did it, I was just hooked. The first turtle, I just wanted to get the next one and the next one and the next one. I'm addicted to it.
So
Korea wants to know what your personal best loggerhead and snapper is.
What my biggest turtle was?
Yes.
28.7 pounds.
Good Lord. Those necks can come way out and brown, right? You realize this, right? I'm just saying, I mean, I've known plenty of people to grab them and, they think, oh, well, I've got him, I'm safe. And next thing I know, they got a chunk missing out of their arm.
Yeah.
Because pound for pound, a turtle will snap.
I'm okay sticking my hand in a catfish's mouth, but I ain't sticking my hand nowhere near that a turtle can get a hold of it.
No. Let me pick one up and let Nick come back to me. I'll drop him.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to watch out for, like, if you're sticking your hand in a hole and a beaver gets you, then you're in a lot of trouble.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing that really bothers me is the snakes in the holes that come out. I don't like that. I never will. So,
now
but
when you were doing the noodling, did you just do your hands or did you actually put your feet in there too, or what?
No, just your hands. You want to feel the back end of the turtle, because during the day they sleep.
I assumed with what you just mentioned there, with you'd want to hit the back end of the turtle. I assume that when they crawl up into the hole, they literally crawl head first into said hole, and that's how they stay, and then they back themselves out whenever they're done. Okay, well that's actually, that makes me feel better about it. I still won't do it,
but when you do stick your hand in and a turtle isn't positioned that way, and you feel the head, you have to grab from the head, because once you feel that turtle and you move that turtle, you can't let go or you're going to get. So you have to get them out by the head. And sometimes there's two turtles in one hole. And that's not fun either, because you're waking up the other one.
So JBT says to let Stan do it first, see what happens, then you can go next.
He won't do it.
Stick your hand in there and see if it'll snap.
He won't do even a small one. Like, I've done small ones, and he won't. No part of it. He wants no part of it.
I would think when you stick your hand in there looking for the turtle, you grab it by the back legs and pull them out.
No.
They got some strong back legs.
It's like pulling a cinder block. You have to push and pull and push and pull. It's just over and over and over until you get them, because they're in that mud, and
they're dug in.
Yeah, they're in there. Like, you really have to feel for these turtles. Like, they're in the mud.
Well, I know one of the videos that I was watching of yours, it was the compilation video of several of the turtles that you had caught, and I was which I've seen these, I've seen snapping turtles before, and I know they can get big, and I've actually caught a few of them myself, on rod and reel, but they have huge, just huge claws. Just these huge, humongous. It's like they're the bears of the of the aquatic life, and I'm thinking to myself, you get scratched by one of those, and you're gonna have stitches. Creole said 150-pound loggerhead. Creole said 150-pound loggerhead.
My arms and hands are just mutilated after I go noodling, and when I work in nursing, and I'd go to work and they were like, what happened to you? Like what? And they they know I told them what I was doing. And it's like, if you can't wear gloves when you're noodling, but when I'm catching them like by hook or by, just by the stringer and stuff, I wear gloves because of what they do. The claws alone just tear you. It's not fun.
So now, I'm going to ask this question because I don't know, but I do know this. I know a lot of people who noodle for cats. They will wear gloves. Now, is there a reason that you can't or won't or don't want to wear gloves when doing that?
The gloves would just be, it would make it it would make it difficult to feel and to pull because the glove's gonna kind of slip. You really got to have a good hold on them.
Usually with the gloves, especially with catfishing, you're wanting them to bite your hand.
Right.
That's what the gloves are protecting. They're protecting your hand. So
that's right.
Yeah, I understand. Well, you want that grip. You want to feel that grip.
That's right. Stan said to ask her to get Jaws. I'm assuming.
I'm not getting Jaws. That's my snap and one time on a show I let the thing break me, and it's not happening again. We
got hunting and stuff with J&J.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. We got Stan.
Right. Hunting with stuff with J&J is in the house.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Got Southeast Georgia kayak bass fishing. What's up, everyone?
What's going on, man? Appreciate you coming in here.
Yeah, no doubt.
J&J, what's up? We got 15 wonderful people in here. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, guys.
Yeah, hit that, share it out if you would, and see if we can get a few more people in here to learn more about turtle fishing.
Yeah, she don't do just turtling. I've seen some on there. She's got some carp. She's got some catfish.
I saw the cats. That was, that's my passion is cats. So I had to watch those. So
yeah, I love saltwater fishing, drum fishing, shark fishing. Love it all. Love it all.
There you go. Yeah. Pound for pound, carp or drum fighting. Which would you prefer? Which do you like best?
Drum.
Really? I've heard. I actually have. I haven't had an opportunity to catch drum because I don't have them this far down in Georgia. So I'd have to go to North Georgia or like Tennessee or Alabama to be able to do that. And so I've never actually. I've seen them caught and they look like they pull hard, but I know what a carp will pull. I know they hit that bait like a freight train.
They do.
And a buddy of mine went. A buddy of mine went shark fishing this past weekend, and his line got hit so hard it was just spooling crazy. And but the guy that was on the boat with him told him, he says, "I don't think that's no shark, bud." And they got kind of comparing with the way that it just kept pulling drag to a point where at one point he was about to be spooled. And he tightened up the drag just a hair just to see if he could slow him down, and it promptly snapped the line. And his buddy told him, he says, "I believe that might have been a tarpon," because they had seen tarpon earlier. And so I compared the fighting strength of a tarpon to a carp, and he said, "Yep, that's about the same bite." And they hit it like a freight train, and they keep on rolling.
They do. Yeah, they do.
Southeast Georgia wants to know, so what type of trap you use for turtles trying to get them out of a trophy bass pond?
Traps? I don't use traps.
You don't use traps?
I use my hands.
Now, I believe you could use the same type of trap as a crab trap.
You could. Yeah, you could. Yeah. I mean, I've had people that have them in ponds, they want them out, and I would tell like the people that I go with, let's go get them, you know?
Yeah.
That's right. And yeah, I have that's the way it is here. You know, of course, we don't have quite as big of turtles in our ponds, but they want to get them out, and they tend to use crab traps a lot of times. And
Yeah,
I made
you
them up
could-
with cat food, literally cat food, not catfish food. Avid said, I hear Turtle Lady catch catfish, but Stan takes the rod away and counts it for himself. Is that true? Surely that's not true.
No. I taught Stan everything you know. Don't worry.
There you go. Creel said the ridges on a loggerhead shell are directional. You have to be able to feel them to know which end is the dangerous end. Now that's something I didn't know, so that's actually a good piece of information right there.
Yep, absolutely.
So let's see. JBT stated I've been wanting to catch a
grab last time I went noodling. I couldn't noodle last summer because I had back surgery, so I didn't get to do it. But I'm going July 8th of this year, getting back to it. I'm going to go for 2 days in a row. And I'm ready. So
So JBT says I've been wanting to catch a big drum because they say they fight really hard like carp and they taste good to eat. I've heard two different versions of that. I've heard that they're not worth a dime, and then I've heard the same thing, that they are good. And considering the fact that we don't have them down here, I can't attest to either one of them.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I've ate some drum I caught, and they are very good. Very good.
Stan answered the question about taking the rod. He says it depends if it's big or not. You know what, Stan, you got a point there, because everybody's been on me since I showed that video of catching that 30-pound cat out of our local lake, and my wife jumping up on the rod because it was supposed to be her turn, but she couldn't handle it, so I moved her out of the way after she says I can't get it, and I took control of it, and I've been catching flack for that ever since. Oh, see, I'm there. You go. I was about to highlight that one. I'm with you there, Justin. Ain't no way I'd stick my hand in the water and grab a turtle. It's funny story on that one. I was talking about catching a turtle. We were this was last year. Justin and I and Richard Borskow, I've told this story a few times. Were over on Lake Wiley, and we were out catfishing. We were back up in the cove, and one of my lines went down and at first we thought it might have been a flathead with the way that the line was, with the way it dipped. It didn't just take off like a blue. And so I grabbed the hold of the line and I start bringing it in and keeping tension and everything on it. And of course, both of them are like, don't let him get loose, because we're thinking he's huge, right? Because he's just bending a rod crazy. And get him up to the boat, and it's a soft shell. And I mean, it was probably Justin, probably a 10, 15, 20 pound soft shell, somewhere in that neighborhood. So I got a little short out there where we picked the line up. Well, Justin picks the line up because I'm holding on to the rod. Justin picks the line up, and he kind of shakes him a little bit, and it comes undone. And then of course the turtle goes back into the lake. That was the biggest. I think that was one of the biggest turtles I had ever caught. I caught a lot of small ones, but that was about the biggest one I'd ever caught.
That's awesome.
Oh, here we go. Avid's playing the devil's advocate tonight. He's waiting to see a video of Turtle Lady throwing Stan overboard. I always used to tell Pop, don't fall overboard because I don't have a camera rolling just yet.
Oh yeah.
Avid, are you ready for Sunday? I'm fishing against Avid Sunday.
Oh,
yeah, I saw that. It's a 2 versus 2, isn't it? Or is it one? Yeah.
2 versus 2. Shad Daddy, what's up now?
Yep.
So what you going after the cats, or what are we going after there? What's the I assume catfish between you and Avid?
Yes. It's going to be for Blues Flatheads channels. I'm going for Blues. I don't know what Avid's going for, but I'm traveling for this one.
I'll tell you a little fun tournament that I like to
He's
go
going
to.
down.
A little fun tournament that I like to go to, and I actually was going to put one on in my local lake And then, of course, I had a lot of things going on that I wasn't able to do so. But the Grand Slam, where you catch a blue, a channel, and a flathead all in one fishing trip, is always fun because you start targeting. Once you get your blue, once you get your flat, and you get your channel, you've got the Grand Slam. And I was actually in a tournament in which I was one of 6 to actually get the Grand Slam. And I come in like third of I was third of the 6 that came, that actually had the Grand Slam. And I think we had about 20 something fishermen out there that night going for this particular tournament. So that was pretty cool. I've caught several Grand Slams. So maybe. Oh yeah. It's like we're on the same wavelength here, but we're not our fingers,
So JBT says, my dad is the king of catching humongous soft shell turtles. Every summer he'll catch like 3 dinosaurs.
Oh my God.
I love JBT's dad. He's a good man.
Appreciate that, Avid, for putting that link up for her. You guys, if you don't have her already,
I agree with that because it's just like the mythical creature, the Bigfoot. You always hear stories, but there's no pictures.
I seen him. He was in my camp.
Yeah,
he was there. I promise you, he was. I took pictures of his footprint. Okay.
What's up, Rattletrap? What's up, buddy?
Hi, Rattletrap.
What's up, Rattletrap? Avid says, told Stan, he says, you're not safe in this chat, brother.
So, going from
those two have a love-hate relationship.
Yep. So going from the noodling into catfishing, is it mainly catfish, or are you like the panfish, the bass part of it too?
Or what was that? I'm sorry.
I said we know you get into doing the catfishing a lot, but do you go into doing bass fishing, pan fishing?
Besides for bait.
Yeah, besides for bait. Do you fish for other than catfish?
Yeah, I fish. Like, I love saltwater fishing. I try to saltwater fish a lot, but I do carp. I don't get into bass fishing. I mean, I catch trout and stuff. Trout, and all that for bait.
Yeah. And
then turtles, of course. But I love shark fishing. I really love shark fishing. I think the biggest shark I got was 6-foot brown shark. I got that in 2021. And my son got a sand tagger, which was over 200 some pounds.
Wow.
Good day of fishing.
That was a good day of fishing. No doubt about that. I think catfish.
I love rays. I like to fish for stingrays.
Stingrays, yes.
Yeah, I love the fight.
I'm hoping in the next couple of months I'll be able to go out with my buddy Jim. He was just out this past weekend and fishing for shark, and he caught spinner sharks. He pulled in. Well, I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna tell what he pulled in, but because he actually gave me the footage to be able to put a video out, so I'll let you guys see that video. But let's put it this way: he caught some big ones for his first time being out there, and caught a couple of good size stingrays and a couple of little other odd and end stuff. I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, he had a really good day. And so, I'm hopefully within the next month or so, I'll be able to go out there with him and have my own experience. Yeah, it's one of my bucket lists.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it's something I definitely want to go do too, especially after watching a lot of these offshore YouTube channels.
Right, exactly.
Definitely. I want to go tackle a blue marlin because I'm hearing like 5-6 hours of just fighting them. I'm like, oh, that'd be so awesome to sit there and fight it for that long.
You wouldn't fight him that long. Your
I give up. I give up.
Your arms wouldn't withstand it. You would literally have to. I can see this now. You would be strapped into that chair. You would the straps would be into the rod, and you'd be sitting there going, oh!
That'd be you. That'd be you.
No, that would not be me. That would not be me.
Because you wouldn't go anyways.
No, yes, I would too. I would definitely go. Southeast Georgia said, I only work near the saltwater. I fished freshwater. I love to go either direction. I've been one time saltwater fishing and we didn't catch anything.
I love them.
I hadn't even had time, HS.
Yep.
My truck has actually been in the shop since yesterday, and I won't get it back till tomorrow. So
Did they ever
I've
figure
not
out
had a
what-
chance to do nothing at all.
So I'm not sure if everybody knows. And I hate to admit it, but I don't know. So where are you out of as far as doing all of this?
Where am I doing it at?
Yes.
Well, I'm in Northeast Pennsylvania. I do the noodling in creeks.
Okay.
We go from like 8 in the morning until 4:30. So we're in the water all day. I mean, sometimes up to your neck. We go underwater under structures to get them. So it's tiring. But around after like 4:30, you want to just stop because that's when they're waking up. And we take all the turtles. We get like 30 to 40 a day. And we put them in these breathable bags on kayaks. And at the end of the day, we release them all back. But we get like good pictures with them all. And that's how I got bit. My first bite was through a bag.
Gosh.
And that hurt. And I'll never forget that.
So how long did the bruise last?
I still have a scar, like took a piece of my skin here. And the guy that I noodle with lost the tip of his finger last season when I wasn't there when that happened.
Golly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've got mad respect for you, but that's just not something I would want to do.
I know my family thinks I'm crazy. They say things, you know, like whatever.
Well, I guess it would be this. I guess doing that is kind of the same as jumping out of a perfectly good airplane to
See, I won't do that, but
yeah, but it's the thrill of it, though. That's my point. Is the thrill of it. For us, well, for me, anyways, it's going out there targeting, big fish and the hunt for them, and occasionally, catching them, and we don't need to hear yours again, Kelly. Hush. So, but yeah, it's a thrill. It's the thrill of it. I think that's what
you mean. That one.
See, I knew that was going to happen.
Oh, that's
so,
nice.
You mean that one?
Wow.
I will bust that
right there.
before it's over.
That right there, that little part right there, bigger than your head.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's bigger than my head.
So
that's beauty. Wow.
He still hasn't yet to get that good flathead though. So
I will.
Where was that caught?
Now that I have a boat, I will.
I
Once
hope
I get
you
it
do.
fixed out and running good, I'll get one.
Here we go. Speaking of not having any pictures, Evan says I have noodled for catfish, but never tried noodling for turtles. The only noodling that I've ever done is in the kitchen when I've made spaghetti.
Now, the one that was pictured with me with that catfish was Larry Payne from 3+1 Outdoors. They a couple years ago, they built boxes for their lake, so they could go noodling themselves, but they would go noodling in their boxes.
Nice.
So they built these little houses and dumped them in there, and then they would go later on and go and fish and get the catfish out of it.
See,
they don't do that anymore.
This would be if you're going to take the time to build said box, then you have a trap door on said box so that when you come back, if it has that turtle in it, then you can take said box out of the water and then you can release him out without getting hurt. I'm not sticking my hand in there and grabbing it.
So you don't want to go noodling. You don't want to try it.
Nope.
I would for catfish, but no.
I don't mind. I don't mind if they catch, if they catch my bait and I bring them to the boat or I bring them to the bank wherever I'm fishing. Yes, I will. Obviously, I'm going to take my hook back. I'm not going to cut that hook. And and I was actually out last year, I believe it was, with PD fishing, and we were on the bank and turtle hits. I mean, it was a small turtle, but he hits the bait, and I bring him in. And of course, we were using circle hooks, and the circle hook was in its jaw, like really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was kind of comical. We didn't have any cameras running that day, but we did take pictures of him and everything. But it was kind of comical because I probably could have got millions of views just from the comic relief of it, by itself.
Yeah.
But I would have to I would hold the shell and I would pull, back on the line so to make his head come out, and then I grab for his head, and so I could try to grab him, trying to grab him around the head and everything, so I can, get good grab. And he's so strong that these turtles are so their neck muscles are so strong, and just as soon, I mean, I'd still be holding on to the line, and just as soon as I'd go to loosen and go down to it, he'd pull back real quick and come out of and it would drop. And so then I'm still holding on to the line, and it drops and his head comes back out, and then I'd reach down and grab his neck again. And it took everything I had to keep a hold of this turtle's neck to be able to pop, the hook out of his mouth,
The last time I went to, actually, I was catching catfish that little lake I went to. I caught 2 turtles, and one of them swallowed the hook completely. And here I'm like, I'm just going to cut the line. And they're like, no, I can't do that to that turtle. So here I'm digging that thing out of its mouth, and he keeps on trying to eat the whole flipping hook and everything.
Oh, that is, in all truthfulness, that is the worst thing you can do, is try to dig it out if they've swallowed. That's with fish or turtles or anything for that matter. Once the best thing to do is try to get down as close as you can to that hook and snip the line. Yeah. And of course the reason
is like he swallowed it, but the eye of the hook was still barely sticking out of his mouth. So he had, I mean, it was just started there. So I was like, I'm just trying to pull it back out of his throat, because it actually went down far enough. Because I mean, it was a good size, like a big worm hook.
Yeah, I got you. I have actually done well with fish, not turtle. I have actually taken it and when it's basically swallowed the hook, like a little 1/0 or something, like for brim or bluegill. I have actually taken and run my finger down the base of the the hook, and that way I can feel where where it curves.
Yeah.
And then I'll take and keep tension on that, and then turn my finger. I'll just basically push it down into it, and then I turn my finger and then pull everything back with it, so that the hook is actually buried inside my well, not inside my finger, but into the pad of my finger. And that's how I've been able to get them out and save my hooks, because I hate losing tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Abby wants to know, Angelina, what was your first tournament?
I've been doing tournaments for a long time. For my first tournament would, I think, be Catfish Mafia.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do them. I traveled for a lot of tournaments, and then I started doing the YouTube online tournaments, which are a lot of fun, and I really enjoy them a lot more. I do.
There you go. Mr. Monty Sheets is in the house. How you doing, Mr. Monty?
Hi, Monty.
Monty is the inventor of the guard dog, something I have recently come to like, and I say like in the sense that I've seen them work, and I'm actually interested in getting 1 or 2 to try out at a catfish pond that I go to sometimes, because it does help to set that hook.
Especially for those finicky little bites.
Yes, yeah, where they go beep, 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 and then you try to take it out of their mouth, and they go.
You need all the help you need.
Exactly. Yeah, sometimes you're right, especially when it comes to those.
What's going on, Coffee Walks and whatever? Appreciate you coming in here.
Hi, Coffee Walks.
But the guard dog seems to be it's new, it's exciting. It actually from what I've been able to tell, it actually seems to be working very well for several of his pro staff members that I've been watching. And like I said, it looks like it works well enough that I'm interested in one for sure.
I'm going to see actually how it works on the boat.
Give it a try, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's one thing. A lot of people are using it on the bank.
That's right.
Nobody's using it on a boat. So I've got one. So I'm curious in how it's going to help on the boat.
There you go. Let's see, Coffee Walks and whatever. Okay, we've already got Already established all that. Okay.
Yep.
Excuse me.
So what do you see the future of your channel and stuff, like what's coming up in the future for you and your channel? Any more tournaments coming up?
We started last year doing a Halloween tournament. We actually had Dieter Melhorn up for a guest. He was the costume. He picked the best costume. So we're going to try to do that every year. Noodling, like I said, I start that July 8th. I don't know how many trips I'm going to do or how it's going to, depending on weather, because sometimes the creeks get flooded. We have to just play that out by ear. And just pretty much I participate in tournaments. If like Avid's having one, he just had one. I was just in the Battleship one. Like I try to do the ones I can, because
now are you
life's
getting
been
in with like the
hectic and it's
ones
hard.
like Ryan Bortz and all them? Are you doing those kind of tournaments, or just what we do here on the YouTube side?
What we do here, pretty
Okay.
much, yeah.
You're mentioning the Battleship tournament, kind of ways directly into what Avid just asked. Considering what online tournaments is Angelina interested in? Yeah, she
I'm
gave you
interested in all of them as long as I can do them.
Yep.
Yes, Avid, she gave you a plug.
As long as I'm not like, I'm going to be going back to work, so I'll be working every other weekend, and it's so hard to commit to things sometimes.
Mhm.
I basically, my channel is I like to just, fish, noodle, share, what I do, basically.
We touched based on the noodling, how you got into doing what you're doing now. But one of the questions that we like to ask a lot of times of our guests is, how did you get started? What age were you started, and what was your first fish, if you can remember, that you caught?
I was 5 years old with my dad at the river, and my first fish was a carp, and it almost pulled me in the river. And ever since, my dad took the bull, and and I will never forget that. And my dad says I created a monster when it comes to fishing, because I haven't stopped. Like, it's all I wanted to do as a kid. I taught my 2 boys how to fish, and they love fishing, and it's like a way of life.
That's right.
Definitely is.
And that's actually, that's kind of amazing that was your first fish. would be a carp.
Yeah.
We were just talking about pound for pound.
I didn't know what to do. My dad's like,
I know most of us
rock, and I pulled me in.
I know most of us got started with bluegill, out there in ponds or little streams or such as that. And then here you are with a carp for your first fish. That's crazy.
I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, what is this? It was amazing. Like, I'll never forget that.
HS says it is an addiction. That is the truth of it, by all means. Monty said to please hit those thumbs ups and for support with our fishing family. I'll get it out in my mouth in a minute. I appreciate that, Monty. I appreciate that much.
I do have one question. I mean, it comes to going back into our fishing habits and stuff, and also into what you do with the turtles, is when you're looking for structure in the water. What are you looking for specifically, structure wise, to find these turtles? What are the basics? Because I know what we're looking for. We're looking for like root balls and things like that, rock hangovers. So is it the same when it comes to the turtles?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Any structure where you have that opening underneath, and just any structure, they're going to be in there. They're going to be in there. Yeah. I mean, when they're going to, where they're laying. It's,
oh, yeah.
So we check every one. We go down the whole creek at every one.
So now, how deep is some of these creeks that you're in? I mean, are you having to go underwater, or are you just staying above the water?
Nope, you have to go underwater sometimes to get to certain structures. Like if a tree's down in the structures over here, you swim under, you go up to your neck, you're underwater sometimes to feel. And if it's really down in there, we use a stick So we kind of feel around, and
So
then
visibility,
when we
there's
know,
no visibility at all.
no, there's no visibility.
See, you're getting my anxiety up right now. You know, my claustrophobic anxiety. Talking about going underwater.
Because I'm just picturing. I'm
I remember
picturing
the first time I did
Chris
it.
Flores. I'm picturing like water like Chris Flores fishes in because it's
I
just
know.
pure mud. I mean, it's muddy water. There's nothing. You can't see nothing in it. So I'm picturing going in that water and just going down, and it's just like you're seeing nothing. I don't care if you got
Nothing.
goggles on or not. You ain't seeing nothing.
HS was talking about, you know, this an addiction, and comes back and he says 50 poles later, enough tackle to open a small store.
But then,
Yeah.
but then you're like, it's not enough.
It's not enough. You got to have more.
Yeah, it's never enough.
Because I've
Never
been on boats where we can put 14 to 15 poles out and then still have 17 sitting there at the bottom of the boat going, we need more rod holders.
Yep. Shoot,
Yeah.
I've had all 12 of my rod holders rolling, and still had 2 or 3 sitting with the clickers open so that I could hear them if they go off on the side of the boat, sitting in the floor of the boat.
We're always saying that we don't have enough tackle. I mean, there's
Exactly.
not. And it's just like, and it goes back into what we talk about our these shows that we have is information.
Yep.
You can't get enough information, no matter if 2 or 3 of the guests are talking about almost the same thing, but each one puts their different spin on each one.
Right.
So,
well,
and like with you're talking about noodling for turtles, but the way you do it is the same way we fish for panfish.
That's right.
We fish for catfish and flatheads is structure. We're looking for that structure.
Where to find it, what to look for.
We're using the same information.
Now here's a question. I'm sorry. Here's a question, if I may. And then I want to highlight this as well. But what's the sketchiest area that you've ever been in that you had that kind of made your skin crawl, but you did it anyway?
That was my first turtle, and that's when the snakes came out. And
oh wow.
I was a wreck because it was my very first time noodling, and the guy that taught me, he's like, okay, come here, and it's here, and I'll feel, and he's guided me, and all of a sudden these snakes come out of this hole. And I thought to myself, I don't know if I could do this. And I didn't say that, but I just did it. I stuck my hands back in there, and I just did it.
That's whenever I'd have just noped out of there real quick. Like,
yeah, I didn't like that. I still to this day don't like snakes coming out at me. I have a python as a pet, but those snakes, the water snakes, I don't care for them.
So Monty Sheets was saying that he says, "Turtle lady, much respect. I've had a few fingers bitten hard noodling for turtles." So he's got mad respect for what you do, as I do.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it was amazing. When I told my wife, who was having on the show tonight, she said Turtle Lady, and I said, yeah, and she goes, is she any kin to Turtle Man? No, but does kind of same thing as Turtle Man. Does she go yeah? I said no. I think
I
that's patented now.
I would love to go noodling with him. I think we do good.
Oh yeah. I've had some folks I've talked to that actually knew him and said that he's just about as crazy in real life as he is behind the camera.
He's actually been around here where I live. That's the crazy thing. He's been around here, yeah.
Sorry, I'm losing daylight here. I was on my porch.
I noticed that you were getting, darker and darker there for a minute.
I'm fading away.
She's fading away. So speaking of tournaments earlier, are there any tournaments fishing wise or turtle wise that you're looking forward to going to? I mean, I know you said that you're going to get back in it around July or so, but are there any tournaments that you're looking forward to going to?
Well, I'm looking forward to this Sunday, Beaton Abbott. That I'm looking forward to. Okay. I don't know any other ones really coming up right now because July I pretty much focus on noodling. Noodling runs from July 1st to October 31st, but I don't go in September, October. The water gets cold and too cold. So I try to get it in July and August. So I don't have anything planned as far as tournaments other than this one coming up Sunday.
I'm gonna go ahead and highlight this because I just think it's funny. But anyways, HS says he'll never do noodling unless he has somebody that has bigger cojones than he does.
One cool thing that happened when I was noodling turtles, wherever there's turtles, there's carp. And you're not supposed to noodle carp, but I did.
Right.
I got
Really?
I got a big carp.
Okay, now that's an interesting. That brings up a whole nother set of questions. How do you noodle a carp?
When you're going around the water, you will literally come on top of a bed of carp.
Really?
And they're still, and then you just have to make sure you have your hand, placed right, because once you move, just flip it over your shoulder, get a picture, put it back. That was pretty cool.
That's one thing about carp that I do know, having caught a few, is that you have to get it's literally get them in, get the hook out, take your picture, drop him back in. You only have a short amount of time to do that.
Right.
I've had a couple of the bigger ones that I caught. The very first one I caught was about 11 pounds. And unfortunately, I didn't know anything about him, at the time. And so when I got him in, I grabbed him because they're strong. They're extremely, even out of the water, they're extremely strong. And so I kept getting out of my hands. It flop, and I wasn't, of course, those scales will cut you. The threads, his gills rather will cut you if you're not real careful. And I grabbed him and I couldn't get him to, because he was flopping all over the place. And so I grabbed him by his gills, trying to be careful with not to damage his gills. Well, they're so fragile that I unfortunately wound up damaging the gills, and I wound up having to take him home. I hated that because it was such a beautiful fish, but it actually was the first time we ever had carp, which is a very delicious meat. It takes a little bit to get into it, but but it's a beautiful meat.
Yep.
Monty says clenched fish.
Yeah, he said clenched fish trying to feel the back ridges always went the wrong direction, found the mouth.
That would be my luck.
Yeah.
Then you got to do a head grab.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Be my luck though. He'd do a finger grab, and then I'd come back with no fingers.
Or a hand grab, and you come nubby, and you become nubby.
And then instead of KB anglers, it'd be nubby anglers.
Hi, Scott. I saw he was in here before. Hi, Scott. Hey, Joy. You're in here.
Yep.
Joy's in here. She says, speaking of Joy, she says, I'm Team Turtle Lady and Team Avid. Avid was saying, the turtles get released, but in Crisco Lake. And then Scott was saying,
pop and pop.
Exactly. Scott was saying, he says, I'm done turtle noodling. I'm sure there's a story there somewhere.
Yeah.
Avid advertising Sunday night is the 2v2.
Yep.
And
definitely.
if you've already got that link and everything set, if you want to put it up for those that might want to go over to see it, you may do that, buddy.
Yep. Yeah, you can go ahead.
I think it's 7 for me. It's 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. So 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. his time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always get that.
He's Central time. Yeah, he's Central time.
Central. Yeah. Because I always mess that up.
And the only issue I have with being able to watch like you guys' tournaments, like I was on whenever you were doing the first segment of the battleship thing, and I thought it was pretty cool actually. I was in the chats at that time, but I can't stay very long because the time frames in which you guys are doing that is usually whenever I need to be in bed so I can get up the next morning and go to work.
Oh yeah.
And so
understandable.
So I'm not able it's just like Jody. I don't get to watch Jody much whenever she does her her little thing, and
I'm in bed early.
Yeah, I have to get up. I have to get up earlier than he does for work, and so there ain't no way I can stay up for all that stuff.
I do occasionally go back and kind of watch it a little bit, try to show some support to it if I can.
Oh yeah.
It may be several days later before I'm able to do that, but
yeah, I tried my hand at these midnight tournaments, and I did one, and I'm like, no more. I can't stand it. I can't stay awake.
It's rough. It is.
You gotta go
Yeah,
ahead.
because last one I did was back in November, so it was cold.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
What were you
I
gonna?
got a
You were
nice
gonna
turtle though on his tournament that night, but of course, turtles don't count.
seems like I come in either because you guys were talking about that thing. Seems like I come in right shortly after you called it because it was fairly early into the little
Yeah,
tournament. I think you called it, and seems like I rolled in and heard you guys talking about you had caught a turtle
it
that
was a nice
night.
one.
See,
But,
she tries to go catfishing and she catches turtles.
Guys, I
Hey,
was happy with this turtle. That was enough. That was made my night.
I got a friend of mine who's a bass fisherman who we've gone out several times to fish, fish for bass. And he will tell you to this day, he will tell you that I'm the only person that he knows that will go bass fishing and catch every other species in the water but bass. I will
Yep.
catch cats, I will catch brim, I will catch crappie, I will catch everything that's there but a bass. And then when I do catch the bass, they're dinks. They're bait size.
You got that right. Yep. Yeah, if I do those late, ain't nobody gonna get their food.
Yeah, we
Evan
got
wants to know what happened to the 1v1.
I'm waiting on a date for that. I don't know what date you want to do that. I said in August, I think. Late August, maybe. I don't know.
I'll just be glad whenever I can go back fishing. with my personal issues that I've got going on, it's been hard for me to get out there.
Nobody wants to know about your issues with your teddy bear back there.
Listen, Teddy's fine. Teddy's golden. Teddy's the twerking monkey now, so you leave Teddy alone.
Aw, Teddy.
As you can see, I don't know if you can. Yeah, you can see it.
I don't know if you after you said that, like my mind went that way when you said Teddy was fine. I was like, what in the world are you doing for Teddy? I'm not. Nope. See, I don't want to know.
Teddy has a friend.
Teddy has a friend. Teddy can keep his friend.
Teddy has a friend. He keeps him company. He's able to avert his eyes whenever he needs to.
Teddy has a
Evan
bite
says
on you.
no sharks or turtles allowed.
During that tournament, 1v1.
Not fair.
Hey, Evan, what about a 1v1 turtle catching contest?
Angelina would win automatically. Coffee walk and water. Good night, buddy. I appreciate you coming in.
Good
Thank
night,
you so much.
Appreciate it. Coffee walks and whatever. Appreciate it.
Yeah, he would definitely not go.
Creo says no sharks. Come on.
See, that's what I'm saying. See, that's where I need. That's talking about shark fishing. That's what I want to go out with Creole. I need to get down there and do some fishing with him and go out there and catch some bull sharks because I know they fight hard.
He's like, I will keep my fingers.
See, I told you, Angelina. By default, Angelina wins.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yep.
Oh,
nobody wants to go noodling.
And I didn't say this earlier, only because I didn't think of it till just then. My brother's a chef, and his first restaurant that he opened up was an Italian restaurant, and he actually named it Angelina's. So that's how I can remember your name.
That's awesome.
It did very well there for a while too.
Okay, wipe it off.
You see,
wipe it off. There you go.
Mom named me after a song. It was some song that was on when she was on the way to the hospital with me, and that's how I got my name. Angelina. I don't even know there was a song.
So, yeah, I think there is actually. Now I think about it.
She said, "Oh, but everyone always called me Angela in school. She'd be like, "Your name is Angelina." She was the only one that would call me Angelina, and I never liked Angelina, but now I like it. I don't know.
So she is she kind of like my mom? Everybody likes to call me Calvin, and because it's a variation of Kevin, which is my real name. And so she hates it. She hated. I mean, when the teachers would call me Calvin, or spell it wrong, or Kelvin, because there's no L. That's what she said. There's no L. Is she kind of like that with you? People calling you Angela and not Angelina.
Yeah, or Angie. That's not your name, and she'd get all upset.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We're here.
Yeah, you know. It's funny.
Well, we have. Can you believe an hour has just about rolled by?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
It has been crazy. I just happened to look down. It's like 8:55. I'm like, really?
yeah, it went by quick.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What is this? See, Creole just add hand grabbing turtles is one of the ways my ancestors survived in the swamps a long time ago. Thankfully, I don't have to.
Nope.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah.
But you got, of course, Creole. You got to go. You got to go with tradition sometimes. I don't have that tradition, so I ain't worried about it.
Thank goodness we don't. I don't do any of the traditions my family does, because I'll be eating roadkill.
You're right. Well, us Southerners,
and all that kind of stuff.
us Southerners said, always did say that, if you shoot it, you got to eat it,
Mhm.
So, there was all kind of signs up there for
And
a while.
there's 7 different meats on the turtle.
Excuse me, there's what? Did you
7
say
different
7
meats on a turtle?
on one turtle?
Yeah.
Really? Okay, now I'm interested. Go ahead. Because I did not know that. So how does that work?
Yeah. Yep. There's 7 different meats. I won't eat them.
You won't eat them?
Oh, I'm in the dark.
Yeah.
Ghost Stories by Angelina.
I know. I thought for a minute there was about to get one. So, here's a question. I mean, I know you don't eat them and everything, but do you know how to clean them?
Well, I know how. It's a process. You have to soak them, and the guy that I go with, he keeps a couple every year and does it. So he showed me, how to do it. I just can't eat them. They're friends.
Now, does he take the shell? Does he take the shell and make it like a soup bowl afterwards?
No, no.
Because I mean, a lot of people, that's what they used to do. Is they would.
Yeah.
I heard. Yeah, he
Like
does.
Creole
He
people.
gave us. Yeah. No, but he's given us like big containers of turtle soup, and Stan ate it. I couldn't. I mean, it looked good, but I just couldn't do it.
It's kind of it's kind of like eating your pet calf that you raised from a little one.
Like my chickens, like I've had them, pass away and whatever. I can't eat them. I just can't. No.
So she wants to rescue all turtles.
That's right.
I do.
Creole said that she's not kidding. Turtle is delicious.
They are. I've heard
was,
that.
Scott was saying some are good eating. I have had turtle before, a turtle soup to be exact, and it is delicious. It's kind of it's a little chewy, but I mean it's not bad chewy, So let's see. Avid was saying just tie a chicken to the end of a rope and throw it out, and voila, turtle.
Well, if you saw the tournament this weekend, everybody but 2 people can catch fish on chicken anyway. So poor Chad and Dee and Danny Stone could not catch fish with chicken.
See, that sounds delicious right there. Being a Southern boy, anything deep fried's got to be good.
Oh yeah.
Or smoked for that matter. Yeah,
snappers and soft shells are the best.
And I believe that the turtle soup that I had was snapper actually, Creole. So it's funny that you say that. But so here's a question, considering that you do fish for other species other than turtles. So what kind of, I mean, as far as like what's your gear? What do you prefer to use, and what line, what weight line and such as it? I mean, what do you use to go fishing? Just what's there, or do you have a specific brand, or what do you like?
I'm not really too fussy on what I use. Like I'll use I like mono. I don't like braid, but I'll use braid if I'm fishing for shark. I'll use 30-pound test for the catfish. I use a Carolina rig. For sharks, I use a 3-foot leader, steel leader with 80-pound braid. But as far as my favorite pole I use is my Mad Cats. It's an Orange Crush, and I love that. I always use that pole. This is my favorite pole.
There you go.
But I don't really, I'm not too like, what I use.
There you go. Joy Stewart says, Angelina, name the chickens drumstick, nugget, and batter fried.
Yeah, if you name them drumstick, nugget, and batter fried, it's easier to eat them later on.
I had a rooster named KFC, and when he passed, I couldn't. Everybody wanted to eat him, and no, I had him buried.
I took him to KFC and say, "Hey, can you fry this for me?"
Yeah,
Can you take KFC and fry them for me?
I'd like to have a little KFC tonight. A couple of drumsticks and a breast, please.
They're like, well, we're out of drumsticks. Well, I've got one.
Can you use mine?
Can you use mine? It's just like going to the Chinese buffet and going, "You have cats? You have cat on stick?
You have cat? How about dog?
Dog on?
No dog, no cat. What kind of establishment do you have here?
We have cat and freezer."
Listen, you get hungry enough, you'll eat anything. I promise you. So,
or Stan wants to use them for bait, use chicken for bait.
What? What's wrong with using chicken for bait?
He'll go out there and kill the
I
chicken.
eat chicken all the time, but just not my chickens. Just not my pet chickens. No.
Angela's going to be going fishing, and when she comes back, she's going to realize that one of her chickens are gone, and she's going to go, "I thought we didn't have chicken for bait." Stan, what did you do?
Stan was chumming.
Gotta check. Count the chickens before I leave and stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
Stan's done hung KFC off the back of the boat and got that big 40-pound channel cat. Now, speaking of which, I said channel. Now you mentioned blues. So you're in Pennsylvania, but where do you go to get your blues from? Because I know blues aren't typically a Pennsylvania fish.
All I have locally is channel cats. We do have flatheads, but they're not big yet here. Maybe the biggest caught was 20 pounds. So I have to travel 3 hours south for flatheads and blues near the Chesapeake Bay area.
Okay. Yeah.
I go. So that's where I'm going on Sunday. And for blues. So watch out, Abbott.
So, and this is another question that we generally like to ask in when they fish for other species such as that. As far as catfish is concerned, what are your PBs? We were talking about PBs earlier.
My flatheads, I had the biggest was 38 pounds, and my blue was 24.
Mm-hmm. It's nice blue.
Those are
nice flat. Now, what about your channel? I know channels get pretty big up your way. So, what's your biggest channel have you caught so far?
15.8 pounds.
See, 5.5 is my biggest, and I thought that was a huge one. Even though I know they get bigger, at the time I was like, I gotta. Anyways, especially when you catch a 5-pound channel and you're used to catching like 2.5, 3 pounders, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
it is.
But I would love to hang into a 15, 20-pound channel. Everybody tells me, y'all come up here, we'll put you on them. Can you pay my way?
Yeah, that little 7-pound channel I caught was feisty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they are.
It actually fought as almost as my blue did.
Well, I was going to say pound for pound, I think channels fight a lot better than any cat that's out there, just because of their nature,
Yeah.
And that's the reason I want to. That's the reason I want to hang into a 20+ channel. I want to feel that fight. I want to go around. I want to go round 1, 2, and 3 with him before I get him into the boat.
Mm-hmm.
And or he snaps off and wins one. I mean that's the whole thrill of going out there targeting big fish is to feel that fight. And I'd love to be able to catch one that's that big. But
Yeah.
alas, I'm stuck here in South Georgia, so they don't get that big here. Well, they do, but you have to travel to get to them.
Yeah.
But which I'm not afraid to do, but I just can't. I can't do it. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I just saw that. See, told you. He's done took KFC, put him on the hook, and dropped him over the side of the boat.
Now I got to go check
Live,
the
not-
roosters and the chickens.
Yeah, she's like, well, it's getting dark. Now I'm gonna go to the flashlight and make sure I count all of them. Make sure I got the.
And he's out back with them. Got me concerned.
He said he's working on that jet motor. That jet motor. He's probably got it turned on and trying to stick the chicken's head over there and make sure
Yeah.
he gets that clean cut off.
Trail said, "Chicken isn't bait. It is if it's live." I saw this one a while ago. Scott was saying that he likes beaver and muskrats.
Wow.
Beaver, I can see. Oh, we're in the dark again. We're about to tell scary stories. Beaver, I can see because I've heard several people say that the meat on a beaver is it's almost the same as beef, almost is the way I understand it. Muskrat, I'm not so sure because those stink. They absolutely just smell. I don't think I could do muskrat.
Yeah,
I don't think I can get around the smell of a muskrat.
Yeah, no thanks on that.
Of course, Avid's getting hungry over here. He says, "I love roasted chicken dinners." Hold on. I'm gonna reread that. I love roasted chicken dinner. Mm-hmm.
Ain't touching my chicken.
Look who's joined us today. My buddy over Dave. What's going on, Dave? Well, might as well let the cat out of the bag. And it's what, 3 weeks? 2 weeks? 2 weeks from today?
Yes, I think. Let me get my list.
Yes, 2 weeks from today.
Hold on. Where did I put my list?
Yeah, get your list.
Oh no. It's going to go screwy there for a minute because I can't find my list.
Come on. Yeah, July 12th.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, July 12th.
Everything comes with it.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
So in 2 weeks, guys, Mr. Dave Allover is going to be our guest on the show.
Yes.
So, and guess what? He gets free range to talk about catfish.
There we go.
Whatever he wants to talk about.
There we go.
So it's going to be an interesting show, definitely. So y'all definitely need to be checking that out. So July 12th at 8:30. Yeah,
we'll be
so
going
Dave,
live at 8:30.
I mentioned that to you. We're going to move it back about 30 minutes if that's okay with you. Definitely, we might even still do it at 8 o'clock. But it'll be in 2 weeks in July. So
we're going to try it at 8:30 and see what.
But it's going to be an awesome show. I'm looking so much for it.
So, yeah, several of the guests. We have several guests that are pending over the course of the next couple of months, and every one of them are great fishermen and or just great channels in general. One of the things that, and of course, I'm just going to go ahead and say it because everybody knows this is our new time, our new day and new time. And of course, as anybody has seen so far, we actually have a brand new channel name of Wednesday's main event. So we will be doing a diverse show. We will have a very diverse amount of guests doing different things. We're
not going to stay with the catfishing. We're going to go panfish. We're going to go for outdoors, but we're going to tie it all back into fishing.
That's
because
right.
we think that each one of our guests has got something to bring back to our fishing community that they can use. We've got people that do different kinds of they do diving. They're a diving company. So they use electronics and stuff like that, like the side scans, the live scopes that they use to do their diving stuff. We use it for our catfishing. So they're going to be able to help us learn how to use those instruments
in the way
right way.
Then we've got a few people that's going to be on talking about their nomadic life. Which I find interesting. They also They also fish. I mean, obviously they've got to catch their own food sometimes. So,
Yeah.
so that's going to be pretty interesting, I think. We've got
With them, it's going to be like more of like survival, like scenario
survival
stuff.
scenario, yeah.
So like if we're out there in the boat or something like that, and something happens, how to prepare ourselves, what we need to make sure that we have with us, things like that.
Joy asked cook and clean. We will have
We'll get back into that. We've got we will be
right.
having definitely Mike Chavez back on. We're going to do another cooking event with him, definitely. Creo, definitely. I think we're going to set up with him and do another cooking thing with him. But yeah, we'll get back into it. We're still waiting on Michelle. It's all mine to get her stuff together in her kitchen, all finished, and we still got to get her on the show to do hers.
That's right. Mr. Buck Williams is in the house. Howdy ho, neighbors.
What's up, Buck?
There's catfishing with Cause. What's going on, Cause?
Cause, what's up, Cause? Yeah, I had an Uncle Buck, and no, it wasn't the same one that you've seen on film. Yeah, here we go. I agree with that. Electronics is always a good topic for sure, especially with side scanning, down scanning, or down imaging. And this particular person that we'll have on, that Kelly was just mentioning, they also use LiveScope, and what they're doing with this particular technology is they're helping families to find closure for their loved ones that have disappeared, and there's a possibility that they may have went into a body of water. So they're
he's searching for like the cars and things like that. So he actually was live today, right before the show. So I got to drop in and watch a little bit and say hello. And he was using his side scan and his down scan and actually showing it off. So it was neat to actually see some of the stuff that he was doing. So he had just previously found 3 vehicles, and he was showing them on the scan what they were looking like under the water. So
that's he has some very interesting topics. He does fish and everything. So hey, Jim, better late than never. Hey, that's okay, brother. I know you had a busy day. Speaking of Mr. Jim Rhodes, so you guys be on the lookout probably in the next couple of days, I imagine, depending on how quick I can get it all together. I will be putting a video together of Jim going out with a couple of his buddies fishing for shark. And like I stated before, I'm not going to mention what kind of shark or how big the shark is, because you got to watch the video to see. But let me tell you, I've seen the footage, and the footage is pretty good. Should make for a good video. So
you
guys be on the lookout for that on the KMB Anglers channel, probably in the next couple of days or so. What else we got there, Kel?
I'm trying to think. We've got I know next week we've got Patriot James on the show next week.
We're going
to talk about Patriot ghost floats and just the diversity of using them, because you can't. I mean, you're not using them just as a float. He is starting to make them for dragging floats, so you can drag behind your boat just like a planer board. So I mean, they could be used for all kinds of different.
Oh, they have
fishing types.
Variety. I've actually used them as just a simple, bait under float, to catch channel cats with. Southeast Georgia was saying that he says, I have a really good pictures off the side scan of old bridges and houses from Clarks Hill. The funny thing about you mentioning Clarks Hill is I'm only an hour away from Clarks Hill, and have never fished it yet. That's sad. I got to get up there and fish the Clarks or fish the hill. What about you, Miss Angelina? Is there anything else you would like to add for tonight? I mean, I know we got off on a little bit of a tangent there, and you were sitting just as pretty, smiling in the background. What else would you like to add to tonight's show?
I just want to thank you both for having me on, and everyone in chat, and I appreciate everyone is, and I had a really good time. This was fun, and I'm glad we got to talk about noodling because I love to share it. It's good to explain it.
It's different. That's the thing. It's a different topic that a lot of people don't talk about, because a lot of people actually don't like the noodling aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
Oh,
it's like I said before, the noodling actually brings in aspects of what we look for too while we're fishing.
Exactly.
Is the structures. It's
Mhm.
the structure. So,
Yep.
You saw that? I was about to
Yep.
highlight that.
turtle lives matter.
Turtle lives matter. Yes. You know, Buck.
LG Bass, Mr. Tom, how you this afternoon or
Yep.
this evening? I should say we're evening
Yeah,
now.
see, I was talking about
Oh,
Michelle, and I was
Go
talking about
story time.
Michelle, and Tom jumps in. So
Exactly.
yeah, Tom, tell Michelle that we're still waiting on her kitchen to get ready so we can have a cooking show with her.
See what's going to happen. What's going to have to happen now, and
What's up, Buggy?
now Tom's going to have to be a participant because Tom's going to have to go and catch the fish, and then Michelle's going to have to come in and well, he's going to have to clean the fish. Then Michelle's going to have to cook the fish, and then we both get to see them eat the fish.
Mhm.
That'll make a great show. But I just dropped the top off my drink.
Buggy says most are scared to put their hands under a log in the water. I am.
Well, yeah.
Most of the water I'm in is clear, so it's. I mean, you can see all the structures and everything else. So
yeah.
Bugman's in the house.
Yep.
So that's what he was just saying. That's what you was just. I thought
Yep.
somebody else on my bad. I was looking for my lost top. I dropped the top off my drink, so I got to be really careful.
He'd lose his head if it wasn't attached.
Trees and hats on. I don't go nowhere. It has to stay intact. Keeps it grounded. Keeps it from
Your wife keeps it grounded.
This is true. This is true.
We got 17 wonderful people still in here. Appreciate everybody coming in here. Make sure you hit that thumbs up before you leave tonight.
Yes, please.
Yep.
And tell your friends and your foes all about us, and because we don't differentiate between either one of them. Oh yeah. Oh, see,
I gotta do because that reminded me something when he said lip a shark.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to kiss a turtle?
Yes.
No.
Nope, me neither.
Nope.
No. I mastered the head grab last time I went in 2021. I mastered that, grabbing them by the head. But no kissing. I'll kiss sharks, but not turtles.
So yeah, Jim was saying that he forgot and tried to lip a shark. See, that's the catfishing. That's the catfisherman in you, Jim. Because I was thinking about that same exact thing when we were talking about going. Which you're going to have to relay that story to me whenever we talk again, Jim. But because that's something you failed to mention earlier today. But yeah, I was thinking about that exact same thing. I'm a catfisherman. That's what I like to fish for mostly, and I always grab the lip, and I just know that that's the first thing I'm gonna try and grab for when I grab a shark, and I'm gonna be like, nope, no.
Don't do that.
See, I'm with Tom. Why would I clean fish? They sell them already filleted at the store.
I mean, you got it. That's half the fun. Yeah,
one.
there you go. Yeah. HS was like at 63. I kind of like 4 fingers and a thumb. I'm with you, brother.
I have all my fingers and all my digits so far.
What's up, Jello?
Jello, thank you.
Hey,
He's in
Jello.
the background somewhere because we always make fun of him at on KP and Hogleds in the morning.
That's right.
We're like somewhere at the very end of the show. We go, "Hey, Jello, we know you're here, so thanks for joining us." Because he's always at the end. And he does the same thing. He says, "Great show."
Great show. Speaking of KP, there you go. There you go.
One thing that we wanted to do every show is we wanted to do what we call a Wednesday night spotlight.
Yes.
And we're going to spotlight a channel or two, depending on how it's set up. So tonight's spotlight, Wednesday night spotlight, will be KP. So Takedown Catfishing and Hogleg. They do a morning show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Monday and Tuesdays on Takedown Catfishing, KP's channel, and then Wednesdays and Thursdays is on Hogleg. So make sure you go watch them.
Yes.
I know it's early for a lot of people, but 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. 4-hour show.
Thought you had the logo.
People. They do a lot for a lot of us that have shows. They do share out our thumbnails for like this show. They have been for the last week or so. They've been showing this thumbnail off for and spreading the word that we have Turtle Aid on tonight. So thank you guys. Appreciate you all.
Did you not have? I thought you had their logo and everything pulled up where you can get to it.
No.
You had one
Yeah.
job, Kelly.
Yeah, I know.
One job.
I gotta do everything. Phew.
I mean, listen, I'm the mouth of the show, so I do a lot. You know, I bring in the talent. I mean, come on. Well, mostly bring in the talent.
Let's say. Like 60-40, like I'm 60 and you're 40.
Okay. All right.
Michelle says, cook. You can see it. I'll show it off, but we're not cooking in my new kitchen. It'll get dirty. Come on, Michelle.
The whole point of a kitchen, Michelle. I mean, you got to
have a grill. You have a grill outside, probably.
Hey, listen, we're not opposed to you cooking, cooking outside on a grill.
Nope.
You know,
because I know you've had to cook on a grill since your kitchen was all destroyed.
Exactly. Cooking is cooking, regardless. I may even throw a few cooking videos together myself. You know, I don't know that I'll do it in my kitchen because it's nasty right now, but
Buck says that you need to come up with a secret turtle spot so he can come up and meet you and Stan. So y'all
So I have to bring Stan.
You have to bring Stan. It's like, man, really? Come on, I really got to bring him.
Exactly.
He pulls the kayak for me, though. He does pull the kayak. That's what he does.
He's the muscle.
He brings the talent.
What talent that is, well, never know.
Funny story. I took him the last time we went, and he thinks he's going to get in this kayak, and we just had begun. We just started out in the morning, and he gets in the kayak, and all we hear is this big splash, and there's Stan flipped upside down. You know, you can't take him anywhere. You know, so we're like, just don't go in the kayak. Like, we need that to fill it up with turtles, and he didn't want to walk. So.
Speaking of that right there, because JBT says, "Excuse me, ladies and gents, coming through."
I had highlighted HS's comment. He says, "A new kitchen and no cooking." See, that's what I'm saying. You know, having a kitchen if you're not going to cook.
Yeah.
Of course, he come back with true love. Talking about you and Stan. Yeah, there you go.
True.
Yeah. It's a give and take, you know, a situation when it comes to marriage. You know, the husband gives and the wife takes it.
She got a grill.
Hey, there we go. BBQ's in the house. What's up, buddy? Says he brings the comic relief. Who else is going to do a face plant and bounce back up like he was on camera? Like I said, he brings the talent. You know, so you know, me and you, Kelly. I bring the talent. You know, you got one job.
You bring the scarred bear and the poles in the corner. What are you talking about?
The Teddy is only scarred on the inside. There are no other scars.
How many times are we going to tell you the reason why your teddy bear's eyes are black is because he hurt them so bad they turn black?
HS was saying that our kitchen and bathroom remodeling is what he does for a living, or what he did for a living. Excuse me.
I wish you lived closer because
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
I need some help with that.
Trying to get the bathroom redone is a nightmare.
Have you ever finished that?
We did the vanity top, but now no, the cabinets are still not done.
You have one job.
No, the thing is getting somebody to come do it, and it's like they're like messaging them, and then like months later you're messaging them back again, like, come on, you're supposed to give us a amount that you can do it, and they finally got it back, and we're like, no, thank you. I might as well go buy a new cabinet.
Did you see this one?
Come on, Michelle.
She got a grill. I've been eating
on.
toasty oats for 4 months. Wow, Angelina, you were quick on that one. I
Yeah,
didn't even realize it went dark.
it's on a timer.
Is that a towel behind you? I've been there
Oh
every time you
yeah,
get it. Is that a towel?
my hot tub. My hot tub's behind me. That's
I
my
got you.
yeah.
I was just looking at it. It said sharks, and then I was like, oh, that's pretty badass. I like
Yeah,
that. Oh,
sharks
see,
in the hot tub. No.
there you go. HS has a great point, kind of like kind of like the point about cleaning fish is buy cabinets local and not built in a different state. Humidity levels can cause issues, and that is truth. Ever was one.
Yep.
Because they use different types of woods and different ways of processing said cabinets. My granddaddy was a cabinet maker by trade. That's what he did after he come out of the army. And well, that's what he did while he was in the army too, and became buddy with a lot of generals. So he led a very sheltered life in the army, which was a good thing. But yeah, he did that. So man, what I just saying hi to each other. All right. Oh, we don't win another 30 minutes. Look at that. I mean, time flies.
We did.
Just, I mean, I love it.
We had a great time.
Oh yeah, it's always good
Yeah.
whenever we have great guests. Great guests make for a good time, and of course, it goes by quicker than we like it to sometimes. But maybe you should maybe we should do a show later on where you can get out there since you go through October, and if you got the signal, then you can kind of show us how you do the whole turtle lady thing.
Yep.
Yeah,
I plan on doing a lot of videos.
We'll have to make sure that Stan holds that camera just perfect.
Yes.
And not
no.
like when you go for the turtle, he just starts panning off somewhere else and goes, well, look at the birds and look at the trees.
That's what he does. We'll be
It's
like he'll carry the stick and he'll be all the way back, and we have to wait for him. And
it's like having your 5-year-old son help you with working on the car at night and holding the flashlight. Hold the flashlight right here, son. Nobody right here, baby. What are you doing? I need the light right here.
I'm shining on the bug, Daddy.
And then
GoPro, and he's just taking his time, and he has the GoPro, and it's like,
and he's probably got the GoPro turned around, looking at him like.
But thank God Joe's got people coming to film this season, so we're good.
There you go. See, that's whenever you look at Stan and go, my face is up here.
Stan,
my face is up here. My face is not over there, Stan. It's right here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's like I tell my daughter when we're throwing the soccer ball or basketball around. It's like she throws it over to the left or the right. I'm saying I'm right here. You're not over there. Right here.
Right here. I did that with my son one time. We was playing cage, and I throw it to him, and of course he would always he wouldn't catch it. But anyways, he'd go and get the ball, and then he'd just chunk it. And I would look at it, and I'd go, and I look back at him, and I go, "You can go get that."
Like I'm right here, seal.
You can go get that. I'm not going after that.
Yep.
See, that takes real talent right there. Speaking of flashlights and trying to get it on the spot, he says I still do that. My light is attached to my hat.
Because you go like this and go turn the hat a little bit or whatever.
Or you
where to go?
You got a beam right here and it goes.
Moves.
That's talent if there ever was. I knew I liked that man for some reason.
It's just like I'm out there creek wading and the camera's back there behind me, and like I'll start moving off to the left, to the right, or to the left, and I'm out of the camera, and I'll holler back. I was like, "Am I on camera?" They're like, "No."
Did Squirrel come into the show? HS is saying squirrel. Oh, he's saying squirrel. Squirrel. I got you. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I usually say for.
I use that. I use that the words and the squirrel if we got our buddy squirrel in the house. So
That's right. It kind of put me there for a minute because I thought he was in the house.
Yeah. It is Stan, but poor Stan.
I've been on the boat. With
I am
Jim.
too. I am too.
Yeah, I'm really ADHD. Yeah. So,
Squirrel.
you know. Oh yeah. Speaking of ADHD, yeah, the one time that Kelly and I fished together, I swear he couldn't stay still. He was all over the place.
Yeah.
Literally. I look up and the next thing I know he's halfway around the pond. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? I'm going over here to catch fish. Well, there's fish over here just as good as over there. Yeah, but I'm gonna go over here and catch fish. Okay, whatever. Do your thing, dude.
Were we catching fish in the spot that we were in?
I did, or I caught a fish.
Yeah. And I
And if
moved
I'd
around,
moved-
and guess
if
what
I'd
I
moved-
done?
And if I'd have
Guess
moved,
what I done? I
I'd
caught a
have
fish
moved
too.
if I'd have moved 10 foot to the left, I could have caught plenty of fish. But I didn't want to interrupt Justin's fishing fetish.
We just need to throw
Man.
him in the water next time. Or ban him for being in that spot. Or don't go to Turtle Lake.
Yeah, no, go to Turtle Lake if you want to have a good time with the guys.
Yes, if
You
you
know,
want to catch
fishing.
fish, don't go to Turtle Lake. And leave Justin at home.
Well, Justin will be the only one catching the fish.
Well,
Yeah.
I have to say, Justin actually drove us around the whole time. So hey,
This is
he's
true.
good for something. He's good for something.
Buck says I have bifocals, so I'm always shining my headlight up in the air when I don't want to. I
Yeah.
understand, dude. I mean, one bifocalist to another, I truly understand this.
I do too, actually.
Oh my God. Man, since I've been empty the timeout staying all night.
Why haven't you?
He got to sneak up on him. I think that's some unique fish. You got to sneak up on them. Oh, here we go. HS says, Buck, my mind sees the light going up and down, up and down. And yes, this would be true. When I'm the same way. I literally am the same way. Only I have a headlamp or had a headlamp that I would use when I was out night fishing, and so I'd go like this, and you'd be looking, and all of a sudden the light was up here. Been out on,
It's like, what are you doing?
been out on the boat.
Bird in a tree?
Been out on the boat with Jim at night fishing, and forget I had the headlight on, and he'll say something. I go, "Huh?" It's like
You're blinding them.
get the light out of my eyes, dude. I can't see. Luckily he's not driving at the time, so that's a good thing.
Yeah,
I do that too.
Oh well, hey Kelly, hold on. Amy Jo's in the house. Just wait a minute. We're gonna get her laughing. We have to. She'll be back in a minute. It's a little thing that we do, Angelina. My wife cracks the hell up
I
whenever
can
she hears
get her
something.
to start cracking up, laughing. Easily.
What, baby?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Huh?
Donkey.
Oh,
Donkey.
I love it.
oh.
You're starting to be a smart bottom.
Kelly.
donkey.
She had to pull a double today, so she's right tired.
Oh,
She's probably about ready to crash out. She went in early this morning and only got off for did a 2-hour lunch and went right back to it today. So she's just now getting home.
Oh,
There's
she
an
gets
interesting new to bifocal stairs are interesting. Yes, they are. Because you're like,
So the first time, we got the ghost story again. So the first time I had to get bifocals. I went to step off of a curb. That was interesting.
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Amy cracked up behind me because of the way I stepped off said curve. I thought she'd never shut up laughing. She's doing what?
HS says now I have to go fish. Says now I have to go fishing tomorrow. Banks Lake in Washington State.
Hey,
Go
there
for
you
it.
go.
Go live.
Go for it. Yeah,
Go live.
exactly. Any time's a good time to
Good
go.
luck.
Go fishing.
Yep.
Unless there's thunder overhead. I mean, lightning overhead. And that's a little dangerous. But
Mhm.
kind of like it was last night. If I'd have been on the lake last night, I'd have been on a bridge for a long time. Jim and I've done that too. Been out and a thunderstorm come through with lightning, and we hold up under a bridge waiting for it to pass through. Amy's over there going,
I'm trying to read my new things that I just made.
oh, your little flies.
Flies.
See, you can see them better tonight, or I can see them better tonight than what I did last night.
Yep.
Those are pretty cool. That was like a rooster tail.
That's neat.
It's a little like a peacock tail.
Hey,
Feather.
there you
It does look like a peacock.
Yep.
go. HS said that he says my dad had many tumbles on the stairs with the bifocals. Oh, I'm
There's Sean Briggs. What's going on, Sean?
John
Hi,
Briggs.
Sean.
There's that one.
That's a pretty good one right there.
What with a little flash, and then this one I
He got-
really like. This one I really.
He got
like.
inspired by Troy.
Well, that's cool.
That looks like an Indian's headband, like an Indian chief headband.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's what you should name that one. Is the chief.
The chief.
Name,
Okay.
name that the chief. It looks like
Chief.
an Indian.
Chief.
Yeah, the chief.
Chiefin. The chiefin. The chief.
Chieftain.
The chief.
Okay, all right.
Chiefin.
Now we're just getting silly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting late.
It's getting late. All right. Oh,
This is what happens when you go from having a 7 o'clock show to an 8 o'clock show, and now you're 36 minutes past the end of your show, and then you just start going crazy.
that's stupid.
Fun time.
Vicky said, I missed the last step. My wife screams, "Oh my God," then busts into laughter and points it out to the neighbor. Look what he did. Look. Look what he did. No, see, my wife just laughs, and then everybody looks at her, and then she laughs even harder, and then they start laughing, and I get up red-faced, and I'm like, let's go. Jim says, speaking of night fishing, it's about time to start. August is nearly here. As soon as I get back from Colorado elk hunting, I'm with you, brother. Hopefully I'll be able to do it with you too. So,
Yep.
Not the elk hunting fishing. I would love to go elk hunting, but
Hey,
the
Jim,
fishing.
come pick me up. I'll go to Colorado and go elk hunting with you.
What? So my wife thinks that elk are dangerous.
Well, they're big.
That's
and
why
they
you
got-
take a gun.
That's why you take it.
Did you hear Kelly? He's got a point.
Yes, I
Got a good
hear
point.
Kelly.
Yeah.
You take. Oh my bad. You can't say gun. You gotta say pew pew.
Pew pew.
Oh, okay.
You gotta
Pew,
take a
pew.
Don't they charge at you? They can charge
Not a
at
big
you.
pew
And
pew, but a big pew pew.
I said
Pew pew. Yeah, it's not a pow pow. It's a pew pew.
Yeah, no. Pow pow would get you killed.
Yeah, a pew pew might wound you.
Well, Sky has spoken.
Oh, I know.
She says she needs her daddy.
Aw.
Aw.
9:38. Yep. Bedtime for her.
Yeah. Well, like I said, Miss Jamie Joe just stepped into the house, so I'm gonna spend a little time with her. Black spinner baits at night. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
So I don't even know how to pronounce that. What is that word?
I don't know, Chad.
Chautagas? Is it Chautagas? I'm pronouncing the CHAU like Chatelet. So Chautauguas? I don't know. I'll have to look that up later.
I can't pronounce that one.
Oops.
We don't
was that?
speak those foreign languages.
You do. So or a foreign language, or at least you understand a foreign language.
Paquito.
Yeah. Still.
Paquito.
Jim says they're talking about they're talking about elk being dangerous. Says they are if you eat too much at one time. This is true. This is true. That's kind of like eating Chinese food. today. Very dangerous this afternoon.
Oh,
Very, very
that's what he said.
dangerous.
He said, "Oops, auto spell ankle biters."
Oh,
Gosh, how in the world do you get that? It's supposed to be that.
maybe that's what that means is ankle biters.
That might be.
Ankle, yeah.
You know how to say that word?
I'm-
Scott says she knows how to say it.
Yeah, I like.
What?
Nice guy.
I agree with that.
Oh, Chautauqua.
Chautauqua. I was close. I was close.
No, you wasn't.
H. That sounds like an Indian name. What did you just say?
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yeah. Anyways, so HS says more people get their butts kicked by deer every year. This is true. See, I said something very, very similar to Chautauqua's. I don't know what it means, but
You were close.
I was close.
Pat on your back.
But leave it, leave it to how old is Sky now? What is she like? 12?
Who?
Sky.
10.
Like I said, 12.
10.
Leave it to a 10-year-old to outsmart us old folks. I agree with that. Autocorrect was not even close to that. How?
Oh, 2 moccasins tied together.
That's a Chautauqua?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna Amy Joe just
It's kind of like a chancla. Oh, you talk about chanclas. Chancla.
Hold on. Amy Jo just brought up a very good point. So who tied them together?
I know what he's saying now. It's chancla.
Oh wait, I know who tied them together because the only one on this whole entire panel who's crazy enough to do so. That would be that one right there.
Why not? Sure.
So we have learned a new word and and the meaning behind the new word for tonight. We're just a bunch of new ideas and everything tonight. And we understand that now not only is a turtle lady, but she's also a moccasin lady. Hey. Unless you're talking about moccasins like your feet, like on your feet tied together. Now that might be the way that they made that.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
But I think when he meant like this one, he meant chanclas, which is the sandal for Mexican. The Mexican sandal are dangerous.
Yeah, well, he said ankle biters, and he said autocorrect was the one that screwed that up. How, we don't know yet, but it's
I don't know. It's late. It's late.
So I'm confused about this one. So bifocals, remember, was supposed to be Chihuahua. What? Okay, I understand. Oh, understood. Okay, I get it now. He was trying to say that it was like Chihuahuas, which is an ankle biter. Yes,
okay.
Ankle
I get it.
biter.
It
I
took
have 2 of
3
them
hours
here.
for me to realize that, but okay, understood.
There we go.
New segment.
Word of the week.
Word of the week is Chautauqua.
We're gonna have somebody random. Okay, next week we're just gonna have somebody random in chat. So anybody that's in here in chat, just come up with some random word for us, and then we'll try to figure out what it means.
No. I got the perfect deal. So Sky was the one that schooled us on what Chautauqua means. So somebody in chat next week come up with some random word that's not a common word to anybody anywhere, and Miss Sky can present it and tell us what it is. How about that, Sky? If that sounds like a plan.
Yeah, she'll be here.
Yeah. New member of the Wednesday main event is Miss Sky.
Yeah, she's like, it's called a phone.
It's called a phone. It's called a phone. You know, all you got to do is look it up. Google it. Hello, Google.
Yeah.
HS says he says he's out. Everyone take care, Kelly. You're being summoned, and he's saying, "Bye. You all have a great day." I know, being summoned. Exactly. Yep. Exactly, Jim. I'm always learning. If I'm not learning something new every day, I'm not living. So there we go. I have learned. I'm going to remember that too, and I'm going to go to work tomorrow, and I'm going to go. Yeah. So the Chautauquas was really rough this weekend, and people are going to look at me and go, look it up, Google it.
Google.
Oh, goodness. I know,
do
my
know how to
face
spell it.
hurt from
So
laughing.
we got, we got
Like,
Wednesday nights spotlight. Now we got Wednesday nights vocabulary word of the day.
Word of the day. Hey, let me write that down. Okay. So word of the week. It's word of the
Word
week.
of the week. Yes, word of the week.
Word of the week. All right. So, and it is the chat's one job. Chat has one job.
Yeah.
One job. Not you, Kelly. The chat has one
Yeah,
job.
I've got like 15 jobs because you ain't doing nothing.
I bring the talent. Okay. I'll reiterate. I bring the talent. So chat has one job for next week is to give one word, one random word. Oops. I hit the microphone. One random word. Random word. One random word for next week. And Sky will present it to us after she Googles it. We could say that would be Wednesday's word of the week. Hey, yeah, there you go. Wednesday's word of the week.
Wednesday's word of the
There
week.
you go.
Hashtag Google it.
Yeah. Sounds like a new catfish bait. Yes, whatever.
Stockers. Okay. I'm not going to tackle that one. He's still in all those pick it up.
No,
See, there you go. There you go.
It's like a lot of people says like go to your Facebook or your phone or whatever and put one letter in and then whatever the first word comes up in your search. It's like that.
Yes.
That's the word or whatever.
The word of the week. We have picked Chautauqua. What?
What?
I still can't say that.
Chautauquas. Sounds Indian. Chautauqua. Hey, you know what? Considering the meaning behind that, I'm wondering if that's not an Indian word.
and the funny thing is, there's a camp that I grew up going to in Ohio. It's called Camp Chautauqua.
Camp Chautauqua.
Did you ride the short bus there, Kelly?
Actually, I did. I actually did. We actually had one of those little 15 passenger little schools. So yes, I did ride the short bus all the way up there. It was fun too.
I will never let you live that one down.
He's like, actually, I did.
I picked it. And the thing is, I picked to be on the bus because it's the funnest bus ever.
I bet it was. It's the one that had all of the crayons and the nice helmet that looked like a football helmet.
Yep.
If you ask Chad, Fields to Waters, Chad, he'll say I rode the same bus.
Yeah. He rode that bus to the golf course.
Wait. It was okay. Hold up. Clarify that for me, BQ. Are you saying that was actually the name of a tribe of Native Indians?
Mm-hmm. Camp Chautauqua.
Which I was.
Chautauqua.
Oh,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Oh, and that word.
Oh, just hold on. There you go. Jim, the sad part about all that though, Jim, was the fact that he was the skinniest one there. Usually kids, skinny kids, usually bully the fat. I was a fat kid. Usually bullies the fat kids. In this case, Kelly being the smallest one of all of them was the bully. I mean, was being bullied.
No, it was the other way around.
No, there was too many of them for you to have bullied them. They would have just dunked you in the river. Of course, that could explain a lot as to what's going on with you right now. But Okay, we done went off into a left field, you know.
My name is
turnaround.
Kelly Bullock, and I have been bullied.
Oh, here we go. There you go. Sad part is I just signed up. You were supposed to say no, Jim. You were supposed to say no when it says, "Do you want to attend?" No.
Hey, and see in fine print, Jim saw that in fine print. It says free candy.
And he went, "Yes, please."
Yes, please.
All right, dude. I need to get off of here,
That's
man.
like
We're getting
not any
silly.
candy, chocolate,
The chocolate.
Oreos.
Yes. Cake. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of
I mean,
cake, I have leftover cake in the refrigerator.
Oh, now we know. Now we know. You know, now we do understand why, you know, or not that why, but we do understand that you are ADHD because you're the only man I know that can eat like, oh my God, yes.
Red velvet.
Shut up. You're the only one that I know.
Leftover birthday. That's what I had for my birthday.
Red velvet,
Vanilla
you
cake.
suck.
At least nobody knows where we're lit, so they can't break underneath the cake.
I do.
He does.
Make sure you look.
That face though.
I'm moving.
Me too.
I'm moving tomorrow.
Oh my goodness.
Now.
I got about 4 houses I can move into. You'll never find me.
All right, dude. I think we then went past silly and then got into hysterical. I think we need to go ahead and end this thing and maybe get some sleep for the night.
We all need sleep.
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 Sleep is overrated.
Yeah, that's
It's like sleep. What is sleep?
Here.
There
You just stay up and binge watch your favorite TV show.
you go.
Like crime and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah, it's cool though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Until you pass out.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, she like one episode.
You right?
God. Rachel doesn't watch TV. She just goes to bed.
I do this. I do this.
That's because we're old.
Yeah, until she tells you to put your phone away and go to bed.
True. That's just true. All right. Good night. Till next time. Godspeed. God bless. Tight lines and full stringers. You too there, BQ. We will see you on the next go, buddy.
And I'm gonna try to play our theme song going out.
See if you can do that. Go ahead and start it up. But before
Yeah.
you start that,
Okay.
Angelina, thank you very much for coming into the show tonight. We do appreciate you having us and all of our craziness.
Yes.
Loved
You know,
it.
so do look
Thank
forward.
you for having me.
It was a fun night, no doubt. So yeah, anytime. Maybe we can, like we said earlier, maybe we can get back together sometime in the near future, where you're actually out there catching the turtles
Yeah.
and on a live episode. In the meantime, keep doing what you're doing. I really do like your content. I've got much more. I want a ghost story before you leave. You know,
I actually hear something out here.
see, there you go.
A turtle
That-
ghost story.
No, that's the thumping is staying after the chickens. He's going fishing tomorrow.
Yeah, I got to check the chickens.
He said
Yes,
the train
man.
has derailed.
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, we do appreciate that, and it was really fun for us to have you on the show tonight. All right,
Okay.
Kelly, I think we've said just about all we can say tonight. You want to go ahead and start that theme music? Maybe we can actually hear it this time.
Yeah.